We're transforming this junkyard Jeep into this. Throughout this video, I'm going to show you how I turn this rusty old Jeep into something new again. Along the way, I'm going to show you tips and tricks, and if you have a Jeep similar, or any car, how you can transform it as well. On the Jeep, got this piece all mocked up here. I took a square sheet and folded it over. We're patching this hole. It's pretty gnarly. It's part of the unibody. So we're making a patch, and then we're putting the stiffeners in, like so. So I got this all bent the other day. Covers this pretty nicely. And now we're going to be bending the next piece. Unfortunately, this bend doesn't fit in the vise, so we got this contraption right here. And what I'm going to do is I got the measurements right there. I'm going to bend it out this way using a hammer. Be a little more tricky because we got the bend now, but we're gonna see how far we can do it with this method again. The only thing that sucks too is we're doing this because it doesn't fit in the vise. So there's our piece. The bend didn't really bend that well. Unfortunately, the vise didn't fit quite like that one. But we're covering this hole right here, and then all these little pit holes, and then this will be its own separate piece. So for reference, this piece is going to fit like that over here, but I gotta cut to modify to fit the shackle, and then I gotta cut some on the top to get rid of this like 1/4 inch gap. We're gonna cut this out and then cut along here too. So. All right, so we've got our pieces all lined up and everything. There's that piece, and then the piece that we were working on, we had to do some modifications right in there, and then there to get over this leaf spring box, but overall fits pretty nicely. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna grind behind there and then behind all there tomorrow, and then we're gonna start welding in these plates first, and then we're gonna work on getting those stiffeners in. But it's coming together slowly but surely. Alright, so we've got a problem. So the nut, this bolt's attached to the nut right now. It was bent. I was trying to bend it back and it snapped right off. So the only way to do it on these Jeeps is you gotta cut into here. So we're gonna cut this open. I'm gonna show you how to fix this if you replaced your leaf springs of it. So as you can see up in there, that nut is completely broken off. So now we're gonna have to probably cut this out or hone this hole out a little bit so that nut can come out this back side. So I cut out this piece, but unfortunately I have to do more cutting because it doesn't access the nut fully. So I figured to cut that, and then I'm gonna re-weld it on. So we got up there cut. Unfortunately, with the blade I was using for the die grinder, I only could get this high. On the grinder. So we switched to a 7-inch, which will get all that. So
I bought the 7-inch cutoff wheel off Harbor Freight. I think I bought like a 4-pack for like $10, so pretty inexpensive. And once I cut this off, then we can re-weld the nut on the other side, so it'll be like new again. If you have a rusty car, this is common because they only spot weld the nuts on there, so the welds aren't that strong. So if you try taking it out, it can snap.
Alright, we have not updated you on the Jeep. I've been sick, but we're working on prepping this side for the stiffeners. As you can see, I grinded where I'm gonna weld. This side, the other side, I grinded this whole thing down, but you don't need to do that. Think about it, but so with this shackle blocks, would you look at that? I welded a nut. Better than factory. Better than factory. Painted this side so it won't corrode. I'm gonna paint this with some weldable primer, and then we're gonna line her up. What we're gonna have to do is we're gonna have to tack it in place, or what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna tack it, and then I'm gonna thread the bolt in with the bushing and see if it lines up before we just go gun-ho, because it might take some finessing. Because it doesn't line up like it did not too long ago, which could just be from grinding and stuff, but we didn't really need to even cut this part out that I did right there, but it is what it is. I thought that it was back here where my finger is, but it's not. It was attached to this guy. That's why you don't trust some people, because that's what some people are saying. But now we're gonna grab this JIT, the weldable primer. We're gonna paint away. So I'm having trouble lining this JIT up, right? I had it painted, but what my plan is, we're gonna put the bushings in this. We're gonna get it lined up. We're gonna make sure it fits. Because I know the shackle obviously isn't supposed to go there, but if you look, the shackle is the same size as the eyes. So I'm gonna press in the bushings that it came with. Alright, so we got a mess over here, but this is what we're gonna do. I'm gonna use the vise as a press. It's WD to help lube. So we're gonna lube in here. That wasn't that bad. Alright, now we gotta get this guy in there. Alright, it's been a brief series of hours since I last spoke, but we welded the stiffener in. We got this piece patched in, and we got that shackle welded back on. As you can see there. The bolt threads in nicely and everything. The only thing is I'm hoping that the alignment is good. I shouldn't say alignment, but I'm hoping that the spring eye fits well in there and sits on this backing plate nice. But there was some modification that needed to be done to these. So, this thing, those nuts over there, they stripped out. So, I have to cut this out. So, I'm just going to bolt this back up like so. Then, these bolts that hold this brake bracket on, or the, you know what I'm talking about. These bolts hold this on. The holes were off. Look at the hole they gave me. Right there. And I needed to drill that. So it's like, I needed to drill this one too. This one wasn't too bad, but it was just a pain in the butt. But yeah, so we welded everything on the front mainly. Now we're gonna throw this one up. And the Jeep's almost done, boys. We're getting there. Pretty soon, when it gets nicer out, I'm gonna recoat this thing. So I'm gonna get rid of all this crap and recoat it.
We're using this block of wood and the jack to apply pressure so the stiffener sits flush against the unibody. We're doing this so there's no gaps when we weld. It'll make it a lot easier.
Alright, so we've been working on grinding everything down. In the process, see that? That's really rough. I found this. I was like, what is this? It's like a bag of some sort. Well, it appears there's a critter living in there too. So, I'm gonna try getting this out. Gross. Don't know how this got up in there. I don't think that's factory. There's no way that's factory. Oh, maybe it is. I don't know. Maybe that is factory. Didn't they really stuff that in there? And if they do, for what reason? See what's causing it to turn out like this. Huh.